Hello everyone, it is time to share. I haven't done a journey update on this channel in a while, and I took some time. I recently posted a post about the importance of the integration phase, and I believe that was my integration phase. I was doing a lot online, I was coaching and doing all that stuff, but I needed some time to step away and sort of group together, implement everything that I've been doing, and also see what my next step is going to be. So as I did that, Soma showed up into my feed. And when you work with clients as a coach, sometimes you came to this point where there is so much more in the subconscious that is blocking your client, but they just have a hard time diving in because it could be trauma and emotions that are connected to pain, and pain is uncomfortable. And because it's uncomfortable, they're not always able or willing to dive deeper. Sometimes it is so deep in the subconscious that they can't even consciously recognize what it is, what's the block is, what's the trigger. So when I heard about Soma Breathwork and all of the benefits that it can create for you, but especially what interested me as a life coach is the opportunity to release certain emotions and traumas and stuck triggers through breath work. That was a no-brainer for me. I thought, what an amazing tool to add to my coaching practice, to guide people on a conscious level, and then add this practice that will allow them to calm and regulate their nervous system. So when your nervous system is in overdrive, everything that is not needed to protect you, to support you when you're in this fight and flight mode. So anything that you don't need for fighting and running away from that imaginary tiger, everything that you don't need for that will be pushed down. So are all the triggers and everything and all past emotions that want to be released, that need to be released so you can experience more lightness and joy in your life, are being pushed down when your nervous system is in overdrive. With Soma breath work, you are able to regulate your nervous system so that all the things that are being pushed down are able to come up and be released. What I also love about Soma breath work is that in the breath holds, you really get into this very deep meditative state where things show up so naturally for you. You get ideas and insights that you wouldn't normally get, especially people that may have a hard time meditating. That is an amazing tool to go truly deep. So I dove into this Soma breathwork before I even signed up as an instructor. I thought, okay, I'm going to start practicing because obviously I want to test it out first. So I started practicing, and within the first few days, I had this amazing high of energy. For about 2 weeks, I was just flying. I mean, people around me were noticing my energy because I was just flying and feeling really, I can't even describe it, overly excited. There was this really high energy within me. And it was an amazing feeling, but I know that being on that high is not as sustainable. But as I continue to practice, and I really practice daily, I haven't missed a day since, I notice how my energy calmed down. I still have high energy, but it is more grounded now. So my body is starting to get used to these breathwork practices, and I'm able to really dive deeper and deeper every day. Yeah, so that was already a beautiful experience for me. But what was even more interesting is what got released. And I recently noticed it, and I wanted to share this with you. So when I started doing my practices, I decided to journal. I journal every day a little bit about my practice, maybe the insights that showed up, how it felt, because there were a few days where I didn't feel physically fit. So my breath holds weren't as long, and I couldn't maybe go through the full practice with such an ease as in the day before. But I kept doing it. I kept moving through it and just allowing my body to do what it needed to do at that time. So as I was journaling, I noticed a few things like energy and stuff like that. But what came up last was amazing. Before I dive into that, I have to tell you the story so you understand why it was a big deal for me. A few years ago, I worked for a company. I actually worked there for about 10 years. And almost the whole time that I worked there, I knew that I wasn't really happy. It was sort of a toxic environment. I mean, our team when I first started was really great. Things have changed and things started moving on and turned into the way where I couldn't shift my perspective enough to not feel the toxic environment around me. So, but because I felt like I have this responsibility for my family to continue working, it felt like a safe job at the time, I couldn't take that step. I knew I needed to move on, but there was this strange fear in me to move on from it. What if, right? What if things don't work out? What if I will regret it? But I kept asking, God, universe, whoever, I kept asking to help me take that step, to help me move me forward and away from that place. I just kept saying, please help me find a way to move forward, to move away, to take that step, to find the courage. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but when you ask, you shall be given. So one day I came to work and I had a very unpleasant conversation with my boss. And the way it went down really hurt me personally because we did have a decent understanding with each other. We worked well together and up until that point. And also other people that were involved in that situation, I took it personally. My ego was really hurt. After crying for a day, I thought to myself, you know what? I should be grateful because now I have no other choice but to move on. So it was exactly what I asked for. I knew, even so it was painful, it was exactly what I needed at that time. And then I moved on to a different job. But anytime I thought about my boss and one other person that was involved in that situation, I felt a bit of a grudge. Even so logically, I understood that what happened was the best thing that could have happened for me. And it was exactly what I was asking for. I still felt that grudge inside me, that personal pain that they caused me. So a few days ago, after doing breath work for about 2.5 weeks, I saw a picture of a person involved in this situation. And it was a picture of her with her daughter. And I never wanted to see this person. I never wanted to even think about her. But when I saw that picture is when I noticed the shift. I felt nothing but compassion. I knew that she wanted to become a mom, and now she had this beautiful little baby girl, and I felt so happy for her, truly happy. There was no grudge, no nothing, just this beautiful compassion. And I thought, wow, where did that come from? And of course, that brought me to thinking about the whole situation again. And when I thought about my boss, or my ex-boss, all I could think about is, wow, he entrusted me with that position back then, and I completely sabotaged it. So all I felt was like, I should maybe apologize to him for putting him through this. He just played a role in my manifestation, and he had no choice. I sabotaged that role, and he had to do what he had to do. And no, I'm not going to reach out to him right now, and we're not going to become friends or anything like that. That's all good. You know, it's in the past. I don't need that in my life now. And people that know the story, and I've talked to a few people about that, they think that I'm crazy for thinking that way. But for me, it is amazing, because that grudge that got released is an enormous step towards true healing for me. So even so it may seem like such a small thing, I know that in terms of healing, it's a huge thing, because it just released all these triggers that were attached to that emotion, that were stuck in the subconscious. I didn't even think about this grudge that I was still holding on to. And I mean, there's nothing that I can accredit it to but breathwork, because I didn't think about this situation. I haven't thought about it for a long time. And now when it showed up, it was just gone. The grudge was gone. And what is even more interesting to me, by the time it showed up in my conscious mind, it was already done. It wasn't something that had to come up and then I had to feel all the hurt and the pain. But somewhere in that calmness, in that breathing, it just came up and got released. And before I realized it consciously, it was done. There was no more pain attached to it. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that is priceless. It truly is. It was unexpected, but so beautiful. I can't wait to see how much more will be released and healed within me as I continue on this journey. And I can't wait to share it with you, of course. So, thank you for being here. If you listened to this point, then I want to give you this. There is so much out there, so many tools that you can use for yourself to heal and release and bring a little bit more joy and lightness into your life. And there is no other way around it but to keep trying them out and being open to what they bring to you. So I hope that I inspired you to open yourself up to trying new things and to diving into that world of subconscious, because that's where the healing is sitting. You need to dive deep and release. And of course, for me, I can't compare breathwork to anything I have done before. Meditation is wonderful. I've always been a big fan, but with breathwork, I'm able to go so much deeper. And this gentle healing that happens is amazing. Now, there's many modalities for breath work, and this is what attracted me to Soma breath especially, is because it's a gentle way of creating that healing. It's not a one crazy session where everything just bursts out of you. You just learn to breathe and regulate your system and bring calmness into your life. And that creates this gentle healing. And that is it. I am more convinced now than I ever was. And I hope that I convinced you a little bit as well. I can't wait. I will be starting my courses soon with clients. I'll be giving them online in English, and I plan on doing quite a few of them here in Germany in person. And I actually have a friend who I will be working on an event with in Scotland, which I'm very excited about, to bring that there. So yeah, if you're here and you have any questions or any thoughts, or maybe you want to share your experiences, please share them in the comments below. You never know who you can inspire with your story. I love you all. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk soon.